Welcome to the Imagine a World podcast from Knight-Hennessy Scholars. We are here to give you a glimpse into the Knight-Hennessy Scholar community of graduate students spanning all 7 Stanford schools, including business, education, engineering, humanities, law, medicine, and sustainability. In each episode, we will talk with scholars about the world they imagine and what they are doing to bring it to life. Today, we'll be speaking with a group of 5 scholars about their friendship, how it formed, and how they've supported each other. They'll talk about how this group has removed the silos of graduate school intellectually, emotionally, socially, and so much more.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Imagine a World podcast. I am your host, one of your hosts, Willie Thompson, a member of the 2022 cohort. Just finished at the business school, at the ed school right now. And, snaps. We're doing snaps. Oh, wow. And if it's not clear, I'm joined by more than just a co-host and one guest. I'm joined by a lot of folks, and this is a very special episode we're going to do today. But before we even get into the episode, I have to introduce one of the newest members of the team who's also serving in a co-host capacity today, and Ashley.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Yeh. I'm a part of the 2024 Knight-Hennessy cohort, and I'm a first-year PhD student in neurosciences.
Yeah, look at the snaps. This is big work. We should just have this as a sound effect in future episodes when people do the intros. Again, like I said, we normally do this with maybe 1-2 people max, but today we're doing it with 5. That's crazy. Today we're going to talk about friendship, a very important topic, not just in leadership, but just in life. And I could speak all day about the 5 amazing women we've got today as our guests, but I'll let them speak for themselves. So let's just have everybody introduce themselves. I mean, you know the drill. Some of y'all were on the podcast team last year, or have been interviewed on the podcast before. So let's start with Joss and go around and say name, program, cohort, where you're from.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jocelyn. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm a part of the 23 cohort, and I'm doing a PhD in neuroscience.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah. I'm in the 2023 cohort. I'm doing a PhD in environment and resources at the School of Sustainability. And I have a little bit of a complicated where are you from story, but my mom is Aussie. My dad is Kiwi, so from New Zealand and Australia. Grew up in Japan until I was 18. And now this is home, I guess.
Oh, we'll get to that. Home.
Such a cool answer. Okay. Hi, Gavin. My name is Sanaa. I'm also in the 2023 cohort. I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana. Shout out to Taylor. Host. And I'm doing my master's in epidemiology and clinical research.
Hi, everyone. My name is Takondwa. I am in the 2023 cohort as well. I'm from Lilongwe, Malawi, and I'm about to finish my master's in learning design and technology at the Graduate School of Education.
Ooh, this snaps. Get snaps.
Why did I get snapped? Everybody deserves snaps. Completing.
With a KH.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leona. I'm a third-year PhD student in environment and resources as well, also in the 2023 cohort, and I'm from Alexandria, Virginia.
Awesome. Well, look, like I said, we're talking about friendship today, and we've got a group of friends. We're missing one, but we will talk a little about that too as we're getting into the conversation here. You know, this idea, so I think we were talking about this, or I wasn't talking about this. I think this is mentioned pre-camera, but someone asked like where the idea for this podcast came from. And it actually came from Knight-Hennessy's own marketing collateral. Shout out to Stacy Pena, who's doing a lot of that work. We did this series on Knight-Hennessy Scholar Journeys, and Jocelyn was featured on that along with a couple other folks. The 6th member of the Sweet Six, which is this group of 6 friends, Alma Cooper, has also been profiled before for Knight-Hennessy, and something you noticed in the videos that they did for the 2 of y'all is that you see like similar people. And so I was like, oh, this must be like a friend group. Like, this is, Sana's
a pattern.
Yeah, that was a pattern. Yeah. Sana's asking Jocelyn about her research and all this other stuff. And so I found it really interesting to see this like commonality between some of these externally facing videos. And, sometimes you might wonder, like, is that staged? Is it fabricated? And
I'm just a paid extra. Jocelyn's friend number 2.
Well, you're really feigning the friendship thing, really, if you are extra. But but yeah, it's something that's real and tangible. And I thought it'd be great to get that actually captured on camera. This is the first time we're doing that, and we're also doing it via audio. So to that end, I want to just get started with friendship in general, and that features a specific question around like how did y'all meet? Like, how did this friendship, like, where did this friendship come from? Like, how did y'all choose to become friends? Just who wants to give some context on how this group got started?
So Leona and I, we were already friends when we applied to Knight-Hennessy, actually. I mean, going through Immersion Weekend, it was so awesome to have Leona with me because we were already first-year PhD students. So we applied to start in our second year. And then that's when I remember meeting Takondwa and Tana, actually, and then both of you at Immersion Weekend. So I'll let you jump in.
I believe I met Hannah right after I finished my interview, like the individual interview and the group interview. And I was very stressed that morning and just wanted to talk to someone that would, calm me down. And immediately when I sat next to you, I just the cortisol levels in my body, I could feel it decreasing rapidly. Hannah just had the most soothing aura. And I remember thinking obviously I hope I, am given this scholarship. It's an amazing opportunity, but I also really want to be friends with this girl. And your background, hearing, New Zealand and living in Japan and having, this very unique cultural identity. I remember thinking wow, if this is what a typical Knight-Hennessy scholar is then I'm in for a treat if I join this community. So yeah, she was kind of my first kind of impression of what my friends might look like here. And that was your usual.
Likewise. And also I remember Takondwa, you're talking about your students.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I always yap about my students. So. I remember meeting you, Hannah, because your surname, Melville, the first part anyway, is the name of the neighborhood I lived in Joburg. So I remember mentally bookmarking it oh my gosh, that's a good sign. I typically don't remember how I met my friends, to be very honest. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember anyone else's. I don't remember the moment I saw you. But I think what I remember is just after a while, you start to gravitate towards people. If I'm at an event, my eyes scan the room. Who do I want to sit next to? And I think each of you became that person for me in one way or another. So no cute how we met stories from me, but yeah, there's that.
I actually have a pretty vivid memory of us meeting.
I'm sorry. Duality.
I'm sorry.
I still love you.
Okay. Something actually I haven't told you before. So our first meeting was on the Stenning porch, which was really beautiful. I remember thinking, during Immersion Weekend, I remember thinking you had a really beautiful smile and that your cheekbones were 8. Just so beautiful. Yes.
As she displays said cheekbone.
Yeah. As she serves us her cheekbone. And then we're actually neighbors, so that is even they live on the same floor on the same side. Of course, in the CU thing, and I knew that earlier on, but we ran into each other before fall retreat, and you were like, "Oh my God, you live here?" And I was like, "Oh my God, you live here." I know.
So it was randomly assigned.
It's
Randomly assigned?
Yeah, randomly. We're still a few doors down from each other. Yeah. We can borrow sugar from each other. Metaphorically, the proverbial sugar.
I also remember on day 1, there was that theater kind of exercise that we did with Dan and Lisa. And I just remember we had to jump into a circle and be something. And I already said Beyonce came in and she was like, Beyonce. And I was like, she is so cool.
Do you remember this?
I do remember that. I'm glad that's what you thought because I feel like the vibes were weird that day. I think, it's because we didn't all know each other yet. So I didn't know, I don't know how things are received in the space. Yeah. It's nice to know that there were some good affirming the hearts and minds in this space.
What type of Beyonce did you embody? Was it Cowboy Carter? Was it Crazy in Love?
Put my hands
okay. That feels like homecoming Beyonce there.
Yeah, giving that.
Yeah.
Were you gonna get the backstory, Jocelyn?
I also remember Sanaa coming in and being star.
Yeah. So right. So I jumped into the circle and I was a star, and then the next person jumps into the circle and is a related word, and I thought the next person was gonna say moon or planet. And then you were so creative and just came out with Beyonce. And then Mahader was paparazzi, and it just got so fun after that. So, yeah, that was a fun first impression.
I feel like this was a bit later, but I remember your storytelling and just coming away from that and just feeling wow, what a, just an expansive person. You're like literally the smallest person, but also the most like expansive and like brave and like just admirable. Like, yeah, I remember just feeling a lot of admiration for you that day.
And this is the first year storytelling, right?
Yeah, that was
they do it, Dan and Lisa.
storytelling. But that was further along. I don't think that was like when I was like, oh, I don't know her.
Great. Thank you for saying that. And I think most of us were in storytelling together, actually, in Dan and Lisa's class. And we had gotten to know one another like at Immersion Weekend and day one, you know, early on in the fall quarter. But I feel like throughout the year, like chatting after the storytelling class and then getting to ultimately like watch your, so for context for people that don't know what storytelling is, it's a required class in your first year of Knight-Hennessy, and Dan and Lisa, who are such wonderful.
Shout out Dan and Lisa.
Yeah, shout out to Dan and Lisa. I don't know their last names. I need to find out.
Roland and Klein. Yeah.
Yeah, they teach you elements of, you know, good storytelling, and we're all required to give a 5-minute speech to our cohort. And so you can talk about like a personal life experience or about your research or you know, whatever you want really. And literally remember every single one of yours and feeling just absolutely blown away by your poise and your intellect and your eloquence and like just the depth of just the way that you care for like the people around you and your communities. And yeah, just could go on and on about each one of your storytelling sessions, but yeah.
I feel like relatedly to the deep dive that you and Alma did, and we were just, I was in tears.
I think you were all crying.
I mean,
Really? And for people listening, what's deep dive?
Yeah, so deep dive is the Knight-Hennessy tradition where scholars get to interview one another in this like intimate setting in Denning House about their lived experiences. And so we like gather in the classroom that we're in right now and put on a virtual fireplace and have a very, you know, wholesome time talking about really like the core of our journeys to KH. And so Jocelyn interviewed Alma and let you talk more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I interviewed Alma, and it was so fun because it's like you're just talking with one of your best friends, but you know, you almost forget that a lot of people are watching, and we're kind of, it's really, I think, a really special moment because people, you know, see us in Denning House interact, but now there's a bunch of like pictures and a lot of storytelling that comes along with friendship. And so I think it was really amazing to be able to do that with her, but also to like share it with the community. And obviously I look at all these girls and they're crying in the front row. Like, it was really fun. That was such a great moment. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I was also just wondering back to like when you guys first met, what were all of your first impressions of each other and how has that changed over time?
Oh, I will say I met Takondwa at dinner, at the first dinner during immersion night. And I told you, I don't know if you remember this, but you were so beautiful and your outfit was incredible. And I met Leona in line during one of the immersion weekend events for lunch or something. And I really truly feel this, that, you know, these are the type of people that I felt like, okay, if I don't get Knight-Hennessy, I'll be okay knowing that these type of people are in this community and that they are so deserving. So truly, I absolutely, I still feel that. I still believe that.
no, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other first impressions we want to?
Leona, we know Yuri.
I know, right?
Your memory is so.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. That was very sweet. And generally, I think, sorry if this is too informal, but I just feel like they're baddies. Like, oh my God, screws. It's so true. Yeah. Just like truly the most cool and confident women I know. And I feel like I'm really drawn to that, especially at this point in my life. And I think they all embody qualities that I want to be and embody more. So yeah, first impression, obsessed. Time with them. And so glad it actually happened.
Something I really appreciate about Leona is she like will remember everyone's birthday. Like, I don't know how she does it, but like,
I need tips.
She's like, let's pal.
but I feel like that was one of the kind of like early things we did even in our PhD cohort was like, we're going to put together a calendar. We have to put everyone's birthdays in, and every birthday we're going to celebrate it. And I feel like that's something that you do so well, even in all the communities you're in, is just like make people feel special and like celebrate those moments, which I think is so important, especially in a PhD program, in I think the kinds of work that we're doing. I think we're all like trying to tackle pretty challenging topics. And it's just, I think, so crucial to have those moments where we can just like celebrate and laugh. And I think you bring so much of that.
You know, I've had like some really rough patches over the past year, and I think Leona was like a little fairy, just like dropping good vibes my way, in many like ways that I think maybe seemed very small to her or to you. But you know, there was a point when there was just a lot going on. I'll just keep it simple. But you know, some days would just like get a text like, "Hey, I left you something at your door," and it's like a little bouquet of flowers and like Trader Joe's mochi green tea ice cream that I'm just like obsessed with. And it was like, you know, the meme with the dog with like, "This is fine," where like everything is burning. In that moment, that was like my cup of tea in that like "this is fine" scenario, where I'm like, oh, this is actually, and I think you're just like very attentive and you have like your finger on the pulse of how people are doing. I don't know, you just do that very well. You're kind and you're generous, and just like, I don't know, just yeah.
Yeah, I echo everything that's already been said about Leona and everyone else. Like, just, like literally a fairy, like the fairy godmother of the year. I was dropping good vibes all the time. And I think similarly, like over the past year, I've had, you know, some like lots of ups and downs. Graduate school it's a roller coaster of emotions. And I think especially my first quarter at Stanford was a particularly challenging time of my life. And just remember, like, I think by that point, I hadn't yet gotten very close to all of you. I think maybe winter quarter is when I started really investing into my friendships here. But just remember feeling so sort of protected by all of you. And I would, you know, step into Denning, and when you would sort of just ask how I was doing. And oftentimes, like, I'm a pretty open person, as you all know. I will share very quickly. And if I'm not doing well, you will find out exactly why within 5 minutes of meeting me. You know, and, you know, it was so wonderful to like be able to be vulnerable with you guys during that time and have it be received with such like warmth and acceptance and generosity. And I like, don't know if I would have gotten through that first quarter here like without your presence. And I know we weren't even that close at that time, but you truly, like, your presence meant more to me than you'll ever know. So thank you.
So I mean, so to this point though, I mean, I'm wondering, like, you all are solving really challenging, or you know, hoping to solve really challenging problems, and grad school's hard. And I've heard numerous times Tina and John talk about the idea that, you know, big point of this community is that grad school can be very lonely, very isolating. You're sort of off in your labs, or I was at the business school, we don't have labs, but you know, you're all somewhere just like pursuing things that you care about. How did you all like make time to build these bonds and these connections? I'm hearing a lot of like KH programming, so that's shout out to the program team on that with retreats and everything, and day one and immersion weekend. But yeah, how do you find the time to hang out and finish your work in such rigorous programs?
I think Denning House Lunch is so incredibly powerful.
Hey, shout out Floor, man. Shout
out
out
Floor.
Should
Shout out
hold
the
it down.
entire team. Thank you so much. Seriously, I think even like the toughest weeks, the busiest weeks, we still find time to find one another because we're in this space. And if it weren't for Denning Lunch, I think it would be a lot harder. I think we spend a lot of time together, but Denning House makes it really easy.
I can attest to this. If you're ever at Denning House between the hours of like 11:30 a.m. to like 1 p.m., you will find at least 4 of the 6 like somewhere on the deck eating lunch. So.
Real that is like careless.
And now that they don't have the big boxes anymore, because I think half the time I was the one like just coming to like 10 minutes and I'm out. But now it's like, you know what? I see what they're doing and it's gonna work. But I think it's also like my program, for example, my master's program is only 20 people. We actually ended up being 19 in the end, so it's pretty small. And I think if it wasn't for my KH friends and Denning House, I would have had a very siloed grad school experience because it's also 1 year long. It's really very quick. But I think the depth of friendships that I've been able to have with people, a lot of them have been in KH, and it's because we're like literally breaking bread with each other every other day. And I think that's just powerful. And even in those moments, it's like, you know, I've met some other really dope people in Knight-Hennessy because maybe they were sitting with Jocelyn at lunch. Well, I've never spoken to Pierce, but now I have. He's always with Leona. Like, yeah, so it's like really, it's just beautiful also the ways that like good people can light the way to other good people.
Also, I feel like, so my first year of my master's program was quite intensive with coursework. So I was always like, you know, coding an R or something and like the dining house classroom. And yeah, I wish that I could have attended more of those lunches. But the nice thing about that, like those study spaces, is they'll often become social spaces quite quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
You know, a great place to be productive.
Yeah,
it is not. But yeah, it was really nice to be able to like come here for a few hours and get my work done, and then, you know, just start gabbing with Hannah, just the most random stuff. You know, get our snacks from the fridge, dance moms.
Dance moms.
Reality TV.
Oh, the show. Okay,
You know,
okay.
Actually, I know we'll get to improbable facts later, but one of my improbable facts was I used to run a Dance Moms Instagram fan page in middle school that had 20,000 followers.
Is it still up there?
Yes, but it's dropped down to 10K because it's been inactive for 12 years.
But still though, I mean, you still got half of the audience after a 12-year hiatus.
Wait, what's the Instagram handle?
Oh God, I don't know if I can do that myself.
It's okay. It's already recorded. Someone will find it. It's okay.
Please don't expose me, you guys.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it was. I feel like I got to know you guys like in between like work sessions at Denning that first year.
I mean, speaking of Alma, right? She's busy right now. But we can't wait.
What do you mean she's busy right now?
But if you don't know, is an incredible person who is going to be competing in Miss Universe in November. She is Miss USA 2024 and a Knight-Hennessy Scholar. And yeah, one of our best friends. And so I think it's like Jocelyn is saying, we all have our seasons of busy. I mean, Takondwa, you were traveling until recently too. And I think it's a kind of space that like, yes, we will miss you deeply when you're away, but we're going to be so excited when we see you next.
Sure.
And if not in person, certainly over a voice note.
No. Okay.
Tell me more about that.
I am always up in everybody's DMs voice noting, holding them hostage to my notes.
No, Leona has the most soothing voice notes. Like her voice, it's like melted chocolate. It is like the most wonderful thing to listen to. So yeah, we're not holding this hostage.
No, it's the best.
Yeah. So this assumes that there's like a group chat. Like there is like a. So you all have iPhones.
No.
So we're inclusive. Right. We're very inclusive as a diverse group.
Hey, have to think of all fun parts.
Wow. That's.
We don't discriminate. No. I was gonna say, it feels like there's also always something to celebrate, like birthdays and finishing your calls and, you know, finishing your paper. Like, so there's lots of, you know, celebratory dinners and just dance parties at Hannah's place. Say
more about. I'm seeing a dance theme. What's the?
I know, it really sounds like we're dancers, not professional dancers.
What's this just dance thing?
But we love to dance.
We're these two are Sanaa and Hannah are very good dancers. Jazza eats two. She eats two.
But no, Hannah hosted a Just Dance party at her house, party of 5. And it was good. It was a workout and great bonding time. And yeah. What first of many.
So Just Dance. So I'm ignorant. So it's Just Dance. Is it like Zumba or something, or is it like We Dance? Like what's the?
Yeah, it's kind of like we. If you would imagine a Wii or Stretch, or like it's basically just a video game, but you hold a console and then the avatars tell you what to do. Do that.
Well, we have to invite you to the next one.
I know. I can pull up to a Just Dance party. I'm into it.
You guys have talked a little bit about your stories so far, but like out of all the years or the year of stories between you guys, what are each of your favorite stories coming out of you guys hanging out or KH events?
I feel like, I mean, on the theme of having you over at mine, I feel like watching Miss USA on our TV. And it was hectic because
Yeah, I heard. Because that time delay, I heard.
right, we like it was gonna be streaming, but then it was streaming 2 hours later Civic time at the end. So we were like, we can't watch Alma compete live. And then so Takondwa came to the rescue.
I did, because I'm chronically online. I went to TikTok and I searched Miss USA on the live section, and there was some random obscure TikToker streaming it live. I think there were like 15 people watching, and it was like a weird angle of their TV. So we ended up hooking up the laptop that was logged into my TikTok account, streaming this person, and then projecting it on the TV. So we were watching someone's TV through their TikTok live stream at a weird angle, and it was not high enough. So we had to like be quiet and sometimes like strain and sit close to the TV. It was wild, but it worked out, and we got to like see her walk and everything. So you gotta do what you gotta. But it pays to be online all the time. That's the point.
Save the day, ask her. And then when Alma was announced as top 5, I remember we just like screamed so loudly that like one of my neighbors is also in our cohort, Bruno. And
Hey, shout out Bruno. Yeah, I know Bruno.
they just got married.
Hey.
Shout out Jocelyn. Yep.
And so they live like 50 meters down the road, neighbors. We screamed so loudly that they texted me and they're like, was that you screaming? And then we're like, Alma just made top 5. Like, Alma right now.
And they came over.
And we watched over the whole thing together. And we're just, it was just such a like special moment. And the perfect continuation of all of us were actually watching Miss Michigan as well together when she was competing in that.
What's it like to like see your friend competing on a stage like that?
Nerve-wracking.
Definitely insane, but honestly, I feel like we all had so much faith. Like there was no competition.
Yeah.
Like no hate to the other girls. She is just such a star, and it shows. And in the TikTok live, the comments were like, Miss Michigan eats Miss Michigan. And then obviously we're commenting too, be like, correct. She is great.
That TikTok streamer will never know what he was a part of.
It was like a couple from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they were really responsive to our demands, and like, oh, turn up the volume. Don't talk too much close to the mic. We're trying to hear.
Like, everyone was from Michigan at the SF moment that night. But it was really cool, actually. People were like so excited, so like shocked that she was there, and also we all, I think a good chunk of us got to meet Tierra Whack too, which is like an artist I love. So it was just like overall an amazing night.
That was such a fun night. Hannah and I were dancing up on the stage.
Again, I see the dancing theme.
I find myself dancing with Hannah and Takondwa. I was Sing Formal, which is on my birthday, which is so fun. I lost Jocelyn. She went to the poker table.
There was a poker table.
For 4 hours? You're playing blackjack for poker. You're playing poker for 4 hours?
Blackjack is fine.
Okay. Oh, all right.
I just disappeared.
Yeah.
No text, no call could get through her.
Wow.
She's focused.
Fully locked in.
Yeah. Sure.
Casino games hate to see her coming.
I will also never forget when I went to this DJ in San Francisco with one of my best friends in Knight-Hennessy. She's a Lebanese scholar. Shout out Aya. But she took me to this DJ. His name is DJ Habibi Beats, and he's this Palestinian American artist. I used to argue with so many people about if it was DJ Habibi Beats. I hear you. Which side are you on, Takondwa? I'm on your side.
Okay, thank you.
Which is the Habibi Beats.
Habibi Beats.
Habibi Beats.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more fun to say.
Right.
It is more fun to say, for sure.
But yeah, Aya took me and was dancing the night away to this mix of Arab and hip hop, fusion mix, and I randomly bumped into Hannah in this crowd of like 1,000 people or something, and you're just as usual.
Tammy, another KH 2022. Shout out Tammy, one of my best friends.
And so the four of us just
Danced right away.
Yeah. We're always dancing in this group and laughing.
Or eating MJ sushi.
Yes.
Oh, so let's talk. I heard about these infamous MJ sushi dinners. So how much of your KH stipend has gone to MJ Sushi?
Oh, you're looking at me. You're like 10%.
10%. So much. They know y'all by name probably. They probably see the groups like, actually the table's back here. Yeah, switch y'all down.
If they had a rewards program.
Oh my god.
I actually, I haven't sat there to eat sushi. I've like taken it to go or like order from there, but never sat there. I think we need to have a little rendezvous at MJ Sushi. All of us.
It's amazing.
I think even Bruno's also like a big fan of MJ Sushi. As we celebrated his 30th there.
Oh wow.
It's a special place.
It really is.
Really.
I haven't been. Is it that good?
I haven't been either. Sushi's good.
Oh really?
Just have free ice cream at the end and a
Free ice cream.
Free drinks. Your first drink is free.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you pay for the refills.
It's
a free drink.
I mean, I think
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm used to paying and then the free refills.
Right.
Yeah. That's fair.
I think our next plan is to hit up every store.
So
There's an MJ Sushi in Palo Alto that sees a lot.
Yeah.
We went to MJ Sushi Fremont last night.
accidentally.
Fremont is fantastic. Fremont is delicious.
So good.
We did get a little confused with the navigation on the way back from Turkish lamp making.
It was the closest one. So I just said MJ Sushi because I thought it would auto-populate Palo Alto. But it said we had to see the Fremont location tonight.
Wow. The Fremont one slapped, and it was right next to, there was an Indian wedding going on right next door. So for six people, beautiful Indian outfits and us, vibing to the music and eating our sushi. And it was an experience. So shout out to the Fremont MJ Sushi.
One interesting thing that's to note is that not only are you all from like different countries, different cultures, different backgrounds, you're also in programs with different timelines. So Takondwa, I think, will be the first of the 6 to retire her Stanford ID card to become an alumna. And I'm wondering, how are you all planning on staying in touch? Like, given the fact that some of you will be here at Stanford a long time, looking at the terminal degree folks, and some will be gone sooner. Yeah, how are you planning on managing that?
I think we're just ignoring the topic.
Oh, yeah.
For now, it's still a little raw. I don't know, but this road will end, and when it does, we'll be somewhere other than where we are now. I think personally, I'm feeling a little bit of existential dread, and just it's another fork in the road moment. I've been doing long distance friendships since I was 16. I don't know what anyone else is thinking with that, but
I'm just in denial. But I'm going to keep living in Delulu land until I graduate and have to come to terms with the fact that, I won't be able to see you guys every day and dating anymore. But so I've just been trying to live in the present as much as possible because I tend to wallow in existential dread as chapters come to a close as well. So,
But I think, echoing you, Takondwa, I feel like I've also had a lot of long distance friendships and like really strong friendships that I still think of as so dear, even if they live in very different parts of the world. And I really feel like with this group of people, it's like, you're going to be at my wedding, like you're going to be at those big moments. And it doesn't matter if we don't see each other all the time. It's like, we're going to just catch up and it's going to be like nothing changed. And I think like I really look forward to that longevity in friendship. And I just, like I have so much faith that it's not going to be a problem or like, you're going to always be in my life, and that's when we're going to listen to this podcast in like 10 years. And I think we'll be crying together. But I like really, truly believe that.
it's also an excuse for y'all to visit Malawi, the answer, which I will continue yapping about until that group chat opens.
There's a KH trip to South Africa, and I'm like, I'm trying to get all that. I'm making her Johannesburg.
And I will sneak into your suitcase. Johannesburg with all my heart.
Yeah, I was just going to echo Hannah that I really believe that these are lifelong friendships. So no matter where we are in the world, we'll always be connected in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I was catching up with a friend this weekend, and we were reminiscing about how like the true time of a friendship is like your catch up doesn't have to be on the calendar. He's like, you just call, it's like you just call it. We both, both got kids and stuff. So he's like, yeah, like you just pick up the phone. Like that's a good sign of a friendship. So I'm excited to see these little pop ups, around the world.
We actually are, a few of us are going to Mexico City to cheer on Alma. So we do have a trip planned.
And first group trip of many.
I just don't know how it works. So is it just like each day is like a competition and then like whoever's left on day 3 is?
I feel like we need to call Alma for
We just kind of booked the tickets then.
True sign of a friend. You're like, I don't really know what the details are. I just want to be there. Yeah, I'll just be there.
We're just very confident she's going to be in the grand final regardless.
Gotcha, yeah, for sure.
And so that's what we've gotten tickets for.
Yeah. I love it.
And also the voice notes, I think, will keep us
Mm.
afloat forever.
Thank you for your service, Leah.
Are y'all going to document the trip in any way?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We do take lots of photos and videos, like nonstop.
Right.
Little mini doc.
Maybe we should be the TikTok streamers this time.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. Maybe you guys could live stream for the rest of us folks over here. We can project it right on the screen.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
A little watch party for Miss Universe.
Get a press pass.
Y'all really should have a press pass. We're going to do a little bit of rapid fire here soon before we finish out. But I want to know, we didn't get a chance to touch on this like very concretely, so I want to create some space to just touch on it briefly. So, I know that you all have a lot of things in common in terms of, your civic mindset, your civic mindset, independence of thought, and your
Purposeful leadership.
Purposeful leadership. There we go. So
Read
clearly
the
those
website recently. Yeah.
the 3 criteria that determine, or the criteria used to assess Knight-Hennessy Scholars applicants. Like, what else do you feel like the group has like in common?
Oh, can I just say, I think these are the funniest people known to man. I can't stop laughing all the time. So funny. Our humor is really similar.
Okay.
I feel like we're all pretty good at like imitations.
Of each other?
Ooh, okay.
Wait, let me see.
So yeah, you're good at imitation.
No, I think we are all very good. I feel like there have been moments where you guys say things that like sound like other and it's really
My favorite is Leona's comeback. She went to Ireland, and then she's come back, and now I've started saying gorgeous.
oh gorgeous.
Love it. I love it.
That was good.
That was there. We kind of touched on this, how we're all in very different programs. So like Leona and Hannah study sustainability, Jocelyn's in neuroscience, Takondwa's in education, and I'm in epidemiology. So very, very different fields. But I like the way you said it, Hannah. Like we all sort of center our work around themes of justice and equity and accessibility. And so I think that's part of the reason also that we mesh so well, because it's very easy to find similar values and be able to really, have meaningful discussions about our work in addition to personal stuff.
Definitely. I think we really do care about the world in the same ways, which is really beautiful.
Amazing. Well, we've covered a lot of commonalities there. We're gonna go into some rapid fire, and then we'll close out. First question: who's most likely to text back?
These two.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, that's Jocelyn, Leona. Okay. All right.
Okay. Who? Communication is important.
Communication with a KH.
With a KH, yeah.
Who is the most likely to start a viral TikTok trend accidentally?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a good thing.
It is indeed.
Who is the most likely to plan a spontaneous trip to a foreign country?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You too.
Okay. We already got Malawi on the list. Any other countries we're hoping to go to?
I want to take you guys to Spain. Yes.
Okay.
Spain, Sanaa, you guys. For context, I was living in Spain for a year before coming to Knight-Hennessy. I could not shut up about it for my first few months here, and so they've heard a lot about Spain, Sanaa, but I want you guys to experience it for yourself.
And I mean, you're gonna be our translator in Mexico. Right. Yeah. I would love to have you all in Japan as well at some point.
Yes, there's a lot.
I just want to tag on that trip because I owe Japan a great debt. So the country. Okay, so who's the most likely to win an argument with a complete stranger?
That's hard.
Okay, I think by the number of fingers I'm seeing, is it a tie?
A little bit of everyone.
Yeah, I think you're all good at arguing with strangers.
Yeah.
I feel like I believe anything Takondwa tells
Yeah,
me.
same.
Okay.
Same.
I
Okay.
have to say I thoroughly enjoy arguing, which is partly why I'm chronically online, because it started off as like me arguing with strangers when I was younger. But I remember hearing about your negotiation session at retreat, and I feel like I heard that you killed it.
That's sweet. Johnny ran me for my life.
Really? Wow.
Shout out to Johnny in the 2020.
Johnny Powell? Oh, that's crazy.
Oh my god. No, I really feel like I might also be misremembering this, but I'm also basing my thoughts on the fact that you're someone I trust easily, and I think someone a lot of people trust easily. So you could easily leverage that and like get someone to believe what you want them to believe, which was a good thing and a scary thing a little bit. But I trust you, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, let's do a couple more of these and then we'll wrap up.
Who is most likely to bring snacks at every event?
I don't know.
Is it also a shirt?
So I feel like that's like Denning House has snacks.
Okay. So it really removes the need for. Okay, that's fair.
But then I feel like Jocelyn's always like, I'm going to the fridge. Anyone want something? And then I don't think I've ever come to your apartment and not been fed something. So I think it is one of you two.
All right.
Okay.
Last one. Who's most likely to write a best-selling book about their work or research?
I think all these girls, but I want to. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you're also
You've been ready here.
Start writing some. Like,
Okay.
give us a.
Well, the rest of the sentence goes about their work or their research. And I feel like by that token, like
has
the
to be
PhD
PhDs,
students
like,
at the table, because it's inevitable that it is going to happen.
No, but Takondwa, can I just say that you are someone that I think has the most poetic like use of the English language. Just especially when you were giving your storytelling talk, like chills all over my body. The way that you, speak it like touches the soul very easily.
It touches the soul. No, I'm going to hit you up for the testimony.
That's so funny.
The work that touches the soul.
No, truly. Yeah, I could listen to you speak all day.
Thank heavens you get to.
Well, look, as we're coming to a closing episode, there's one final question I think that would be really helpful to folks who are listening. I mentioned at the top of the episode how I saw a lot of y'all in each other's B-roll for videos or for articles that were written. Leona just had an article that was op-ed that was published on the KH website about £1 homes, which I had €1, sorry, not £1, Americans. But one thing is, it looks like it could be like staged or it could be scripted in terms of the dynamics that you all share. But hopefully, as everyone's listened to this episode can attest to, it's actually a very sincere friendship. It's a very sincere relationship. And that's something that might not be at the top of everyone's like perceptions around like what it's like to be a part of this program and this community. And so I'm wondering like if you had advice to share with people who, when they're accepted and they're, maybe dealing with imposter syndrome or wondering like, can I have good friends? Like, can I have like 5 other friends, like, like the folks who are on this episode? Like, what would you advise them? Like, what would you give them advice on in terms of how to build those and forge those authentic and enduring relationships?
I was talking to my partner the other week and we were kind of like reflecting and goal setting. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that I wrote down was that I want to surround myself with good people and appreciate them deeply. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Knight-Hennessy is one of the places where I've just met the best people. And I think it's putting that active effort into really appreciating them. And that's something that like, I just want to keep trying to do more and better. And it's hard because you have research and you have all these things, but I think to me, it's just a priority.
Mm-hmm. I think echoing that, well, I think society teaches us to be intentional in like romantic relationships in ways that I think we also need to be intentional in platonic ones. So wooing your friends and like romancing your friends and doing gestures for them that are just like sweet and nice just because going on dates. I mean, these like MJ sushi things are like, you know, things like those where you've got like rituals that you intentionally put time into and prioritize. I also think, as somebody who has before experienced the feeling of being alone in spaces before, to be patient with yourself and know that, you know, with time, you will find your tribe, even if that time is like 8 months or like 2 years or 3 weeks sometimes, you know. It happens at different paces in different spaces, and it's okay to just be in the season that you're in, trust that you are incredible and kind, be open to knowing people, but then also take it at your own pace. I think in a community like Knight-Hennessy, there are a lot of very like type A people, a lot of outgoing people, and especially for people who might feel overwhelmed with that, I understand. And I think just, yeah, take it at your pace. Go to events. Events can be a good like prompting for meeting people because something happens afterwards. You have something to talk about with someone you've never spoken to. It can be painful and annoying, and you know, but yeah, people are, especially in Knight-Hennessy, everybody's in the same boat in some capacity, and people are most often more open than not.
I think that's so beautiful and well said. Yeah. I think generally, I feel like knowing people so deeply is such a privilege, and I think treating it as such helps a lot in trying to build long-term, long-lasting, beautiful friendships. And I also feel like the patience part hit really hard because I'm a pretty shy person.
I never would have picked that. Yeah, not even every time you're funny. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. I'm flattered. But being an introvert, I think in really big spaces is really taxing. But know that there are other people who will match your freak. But yeah, will match your vibe. And truly, also, I feel like these are friendships that I've prayed for, you know, and like I feel like I'm living an answered prayer in some ways, and knowing that like the wishes that you do have will come true.
I mean, they just said it so well. I just don't want to go up with that. No, I think, yeah, just echoing things that have already been talked about, like having patience and faith and hope that, you know, you will ultimately find your people, even if it takes, you know, several months. Because I think that, you know, was sort of my experience in Knight-Hennessy finding, you know, these girls took a little bit of time, but so grateful that I kept going to events, kept saying yes to things, kept, you know, putting myself out there, and yeah, was able to find like community in such a beautiful way. And I think also as a fellow introvert, you know, can, it can be very overwhelming sometimes to exist in such a large community and, you know, feel this pressure to, you know, try to get along with everyone and be a certain way and, you know, be outgoing and, you know, take up all the space in a room. But I think just remembering to like stay true to yourself, and you don't have to be anything that you're not. Like, you know, the people that are meant to find you will love and accept you for who you are. So just remembering to, yeah, be like true to yourself, as cheesy as that sounds, and, you know, you'll attract the right people in your life.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know that I can say it any better than these girls right here, but my one thing I really try to do is just deeply remember to invest in this community and invest in people who are investing in me. And so, yeah, I think it's a deep privilege to be loved by them, and I feel really lucky to know them in this lifetime.
Beautiful words.
How fortunate we are to have good friends.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a great. I'm looking at hour and some change of chit chatting, and you know, I really think that, and the thing I also heard in like everything that you've shared up to now is attend Knight-Hennessy events. That's
Yes.
you know, if
Say
you're a
yes.
scholar, yeah, just say yes to the events and be open to finding people who will find you. So, thanks.
Dance at the event.
And dance, yeah. Honestly, yeah, that's true.
This is one thing the Knight-Hennessy community needs to do better in general.
Dance?
It's like
Dance
more
more.
dancing
More dancing?
and more people on the dance floor when it is there.
Okay.
Like, because when people dance, it's a good time for everyone.
So true.
Okay.
Actually, Takondwa, the first time I met you was on the dance floor at Immersion Weekend.
Her.
Yeah.
There was a dance floor at Immersion Weekend?
That's what we found one.
Oh, okay.
And like after all the stress was done, I do remember
Yeah, this girl is so fun. We're gonna be best friends if we get it. It's also hilarious where we're dancing because it's not a place we go anymore. But
Got it.
nursing, yeah,
It wasn't NJ Sushi.
no,
It was not.
it was not.
You were
Okay.
wondering.
It was
Oh.
not.
Well, listen, well, I want to thank each and every one of you for not just being on the pod, for demonstrating something that's so important to everybody here in the great friendship and a relationship. When we came up with the podcast, we wanted to show many aspects of the lived experience of scholars here, and this is definitely unique. I mean, we got light, we got us, we got vibes going on. But yeah, it's been a privilege and I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Imagine a World, where we hear from inspiring members of the KHS community who are making significant contributions in their respective fields, challenging the status quo, and pushing the boundaries of what is possible as they imagine the world they want to see. This podcast is sponsored by Knight-Hennessy Scholars at Stanford University, a multidisciplinary, multicultural graduate fellowship program providing scholars with financial support to pursue graduate studies at Stanford while helping equip them to be visionary, courageous, and collaborative leaders who address complex challenges facing the world. Please follow us on social media at Knight-Hennessy and visit our website at kh.stanford.edu to learn more about the program and our community. Great. Okay, I think that was good.